Hello, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum. And today we're talking about Extraction 2. So,
I don't know what you want me to say about this.
did you like the first movie?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's the Russos. It's pretty much... I like it when the Russos make something,
Yeah.
and usually it's like a 70-30% of like, oh, is it going to be cool or is it going to be cheesy action? You
Yeah.
never really know.
Yes, outside the Avengers. You're like, will I get something John Wick level or will I get something extremely okay level? And then when you watch, you're like, oh, okay. But for the first movie, I really liked it. I guess we all watched it because it was during lockdown. We were like, we're running out of content to watch. What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Thor Wick. Cool.
Yeah, when you see Thor Wick like going through a crowd of people, you're like, damn, remember those
Yeah.
crowds?
Remember when we didn't have to wear masks all the time and there
Yeah.
wasn't an invisible killer that could make us stop breathing altogether, like Tyler Rake at the end of the first movie?
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like the first one. I really like the fact that a lot of the shots were just one takes, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how do you do this?
Mm-hmm. And they went really extra with the choreography here. Not saying that it's bad, but like it was a little extra.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get there when we get there, but that's all I gotta say. Probably my only little gripe with this one. I'll watch
Yeah.
it again and see if like I might be overreacting. I only watched it once for this review.
Yeah, and Netflix really put a lot of hype into this. They even sent Chris Hemsworth here to the Philippines to promote it for some reason. And you're like,
It was you.
yeah, he was here, like, no kidding, like 2 weeks ago with the director Sam Hargrave. He's with Elodia too. I think she has the picture. with him.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they had an interview with Elodia.
Yeah, yeah.
If y'all don't know who Elodia is, she's like this very famous cosplayer that just is just a pop culture thing now.
Yeah,
like if anyone comes to the Philippines that's famous, she interviews her. So.
Yeah. She also did an interview with James Gunn for Guardian Street, which we'll do a review on eventually. But yeah, and this movie answers the question is like, how is he alive? Well, not really answers, but you're like, he's alive, and somehow, even though he got shot through the neck, and fell.
It wasn't just that, man. Like, you remember, because I watched the first one before watching this one. This man got shot God knows how many times. Got shot in the neck by a sniper. Don't know how it missed the jugular and all that jazz. And fell into a river in India. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
a
anything.
polluted river.
But a lot of rivers in Asia, including ours,
Aren't the cleanest.
I think the cleanest. Like as soon as you have an open wound and you dip into that, it's a pus immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm over exaggerating it or.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Since you're not wrong. If you fell into the plastic river, like, goodbye, Tyler. You're not coming out.
Yeah, like Tyler's gonna come out of that river with like a third eye or something.
Yeah. But no, he recovers and he's on the road to recovery thanks to Nick and her brother. And then we go to Georgia, where you find this family's essentially being held hostage by your own husband, dad. And there's a mom, 2 kids, and there's his dad who's he's in prison because of the U.S., but he's one of 2 brothers who are like running this drug syndicate. And so obviously very abusive. He doesn't take no for an answer, and while he's in prison, his brothers are trying to get him free. And so you also see glimpses of Tyler's past life with Mia, who's played by the girl from the second Daniel Craig movie, James Bond movie. She's also Taskmaster in the MCU. Olga something. I'm sorry, I
I
forgot.
don't know Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Quantum. I mean, I did, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Neither.
Yeah, but yeah,
everybody.
Taskmaster. That's why she looked so familiar. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you get the sense that, oh, Tyler had a son. I forgot if that was a thing in the first movie.
I don't know. Any like John Wick-esque movie always has someone he loves on the deathbed,
Yeah. Or
dying of something.
yeah. whether it be a wife, a child, or a doggy. But he
Yeah.
gets contacted by Idris Elba, and you're like, I didn't. The trailer said jack shit about you. So nice
Yeah.
surprise.
I was like, hey, yo, Heimdall, how you doing?
Yeah. It's nice to see Chris Hemsworth and Idris Elba reunited for this one. And it's like, hey, I know you're recovering, but are you really the Tyler Rake of Legend? If you are, your wife is asking if you can extract her sister and her family, basically.
They required extraction too.
Roll
But anyway, cut the hell out. That was horrible.
And he says yes because it's motivated by the fact that it's his ex asking, and then he contacts his what? I
You
know.
want to redo that?
Nah, it's fine.
You're just like the ex's wife is
I didn't know how to say it. I was
sister.
like, his ex sister-in-law's family. There we go.
I guess so.
Contacts his old team with Nick and her brother, and then they're like, "All right, I guess you're not retired then." He's like, "Yep, I'm not." You're like, "Oh, okay." They go to Georgia. What?
No, like before this, we get it that the Russos, made a superhero movie, and Extraction was supposed to be like, hey, boots on the ground realism, trying your best not to get shot and hit.
Yeah.
This is next level, like super soldier. Like this is 50% Captain America.
Yeah.
For both. What was her name again? Nick.
Nick,
Daza, sorry, Yahasa? What was her name?
the brother.
No, was it her brother?
I don't know what we're talking about. Nick.
Like, okay, there's Nick, and then there's, like, her partner, the guy.
Oh yeah, her brother. I forgot his name.
Yeah. And then there's Chris Hemsworth. They're all kind of bulletproof.
Yeah. You're
Like,
like,
a godly amount of bulletproof. They would take a whole fucking mag to the chest and be like, we're fine. They'll walk it off. I was like, I remember seeing videos of a dude getting hit by one straight bullet for today.
yeah, he's like, I'm done. I'm good. But no,
Yeah.
these are super soldiers, as you said. I do like the big boss sneaking around the prison with Teller at the beginning of the prison extraction. We're doing the stealth route essentially. The option like you can go in guns blazing or stealthy, and he chooses the latter. And then
Yeah.
you get the sense that the boy doesn't understand that, hey, my dad's a piece of shit. But they're like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but they did explain. Okay, here's the thing I thought I was gonna have. Like this opinion throughout the movie is that, oh, the son's a piece of shit. I don't like the kid. And he's pretty much... Well, you're very right. Yes, he is a piece of shit. He's causing all the problems.
yeah,
But the thing is, they did say that they were like a cult-esque kind of people
yeah.
that manipulated a lot of people to work for them. So, yeah, the kid's still a kid. Doesn't really know right from wrong. This cult-esque gangster family pretty much manipulating everyone. So I don't blame him to be like, should I call my uncle and say that this guy is like taking us away? Or do the right thing, which he doesn't know, and be like, okay, we gotta run.
Yeah. I do like the fact that Teller, as he's trying to take out the family to the rendezvous site, he's doing the non-lethal approach of like, I'll just shoot the guys in the leg first. And then halfway through, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, they're all dead.
I don't know what that was about. Like, the courtyard scene, for sure, was somewhat inspired by the raid,
Yeah,
too. It was a really cool scene.
yeah,
But I didn't understand why he was like butting people with like his gun. I was like, you were kind of doing fine with just like messing up fools left and right in India. What's wrong with Russia
right?
or Croatia? I don't know where
Georgia.
that was. Lebanon,
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah. They killed the dad before then, and then the kids escape, but he's stuck with his sister-in-law, so they have to
Yeah.
escape to the courtyard.
By the way, best support. Decking people with a shovel. I was
Yeah.
like, that's how you do it. That's how you do an escort mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Lift your own goddamn weight.
I do like the fire fist sequence or the shield sequence when he's just mowing down people barehanded. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Where he gets like a concussion,
Yeah,
and then he goes into like Kratos rage mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it goes from like submachine gun to pistol to knife and then just bare hands and a shield and fire fist. You're
Mm-hmm.
pretty good, pretty badass.
It was really good. I really liked that.
And then,
And dude, I'm sorry. This was a dope fucking scene. So like you see the wife getting, his sister-in-law getting beat up in the
Yeah.
background, and he walks up, grabs a dumbbell, and just smashes the guy's face in. I was like, oh.
and then the succeeding car chase is pretty cool too, where he has to help Nick with the guys like tossing explosives at them, and then most of the team gets wiped out except for them, and the kid's just like, the main kid is like, "Where's Dad?" You're like, "Shut up, please. Your dad's a piece of shit. You don't know that though."
I have a huge crush on Nikki. Or Nick is what they call her.
Yeah.
Nah, whew. Sorry, mommy. Damn. Anyway. No, but you saw her like in the train scene where she has
Taking
like,
fools out.
yeah, where she handles these two guys and she's like doing spins and like
Yeah.
slashing like their arms open. I'm like, ah.
This is the Raid 2 thing where she just slices a guy's arm open with the glass of the train's window. You're like,
Yes! That was so good. Like, they're taking notes from the raids, which I really like. Using the environment for the fight scenes itself. But yeah, that shit was cool where there's broken windows, she puts out his hand and slides it, and then
Yeah.
you see that arm like kind of dangle. I'm like, ugh.
not only is she bulletproof, she's also knife proof because she gets stabbed here, and you're like, that's a vital place to get stabbed, but she's fine. By the end, she's just walking around. You're like,
I wouldn't know, I'm not a medical student, but yeah, like they would get God. Dude, wasn't Chris Hemsworth like stabbed twice in the prison scene?
yeah,
And he just walks it off. I was like, dude, nobody's
How?
gonna stitch him up.
I guess not.
Yeah, no, because like they got to the train and they just kept going.
The amount of times he picks up a heavy machine gun, I was like, I wish this was in theaters instead of just on a streaming service. Yeah,
Yeah, that shit was cool. Where at this point it's just Winter Soldier the movie, which I like to think
Yeah.
it was. I was like,
I
this is
mean-
Bucky like redeeming himself, gunning down, like using a saw to take down 2 helicopters
Yeah.
and like a gat. It's something sick. All
Yeah.
that's missing is the arm thing.
exactly. You're like, if only Tyler Rake had, I don't know, got amputated in the first movie so he can have a metal arm in this one.
Shut the hell up.
I don't know. You
Like
see him?
him surviving the first movie was already outrageous enough.
Yeah, that's true. And then they get down, and the kid's like, "Dad's not coming in with us, is he?" And the mom's like, "No, he's dead." And then
I like okay the transition with the not transition that scene where he like straps the kids down. He's like, "Yeah, we'll find out when we get there," and then like the train just yeah, that shit was cool in my opinion.
oh yeah,
Like there's no like crash or build up to it. It was just so sudden. Like Chris Hemsworth was just here and then now he's there,
yeah. You're like,
which is really cool.
I don't know how any of this is not killing Tyler Rake at this point for a man who survived having multiple fractures, multiple puncture wounds, or multiple shots at him.
Bullet wounds, stab wounds, probably has a concussion. Again, this man should not be alive.
Right?
Or like once this mission's over, he's gonna drop dead.
Exactly. But before they go to, I think it was Austria, the kid's like, "How could you kill Dad?" And Tyler's just like, "Man, it was you or your mom. You fucking choose. What do you want?" Just kind of
Yeah,
hammer
right?
home like, "Your dad's a piece of shit. Your uncle's a piece of shit too. Please stop doing this, kid."
And I love how Chris Hemsworth just towers over the kid. The kid's like trying to touch him. He's like,
But the kid does call his uncle when they're in the plane, while Tyler Rake is explaining to Nick like, "Oh, I'm here because this is my sister-in-law, and she's like, "Why didn't you say anything?" He's like,
Backstory. Yeah, we were getting a bit of backstory
Yeah.
with Tyler Rake. Like, oh, that's his sister-in-law. I really don't know how she ended up with the guy.
Right? They never really explained that.
Right? Like, because he has stories of where he's like, oh, you used to play with my son when they're at the beach. I don't know if you remember that. So it was like, so you knew who the dad was?
Right?
And you didn't stop it? Like, did you know? Because, like, did you know that he was like a drug lord in Georgia?
Why didn't you do anything then? Then
Right?
the sister-in-law was like, well, he was nice back then. You're like, what does nice mean for a man like that? Because you see his backstory as a kid. You're like, I don't think he was nice at any point in his life.
Yeah, except for when he was a kid. That was it.
Yeah, but Tyler does give a real talk to the kid of like, look, man, your mom did everything to make sure you're safe and you were sheltered in that prison, even though it was a harsh world. And now that you're free, you're going to be free. You're going to have to take care of her. So you can either choose this path of like, I'm gonna stay with this cult-like drug syndicate, or you can be a better man and just help your family. It's your choice. And then he's like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
They're like, helicopter.
This entire sequence in the building is pretty sick too, with Tyler trying to survive, everybody trying to survive, and the kid being like, "Uncle, I'm here," and having a moment of like, "Do I really want to be with Uncle?" But it's too late. You're like, "Oh, okay."
Did you find it odd that it was kind of like Call of Duty? It was very Call of Duty-esque.
Yeah.
Because in any situation, whether it be Nick or Daza, I think it might have been Daza or something. Whatever they're doing, or wherever they are, equipment is there.
It's like, oh wow.
Like Rick would just grab like a grenade launcher, or like right off like the kitchen counter. We're like, well, what was that there?
Is this a video game? I just didn't know about it.
It is, because he would like pick up something, and I was like, he'll make use of it. I was like, man's just going through the campaign. It's just a linear storyline, like that's it.
The sequence where Nick is unconscious and Tyler has to hurry up, and then he does the
Oh yeah, because she's like sliding down.
the treadmill kill. You're like, what the fuck? The guy, he crushes the
That
dumbbell.
wasn't it. Do you know the leg press? Holy shit!
You just hear God damn.
Question: who was trying to surpass their PR in that day? Like, you saw the amount of weights that was on that leg press. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're like, who was in this classified site in the first place? That the weights are like nonsensical.
I guess Chris Hemsworth.
I guess. Because they're like, oh, there's a secret base. No one else should be here except us. And they're trying to make like fake visas. And then you see the weights in their leg press. You're like, was Tyler just doing presses while waiting?
It's like man was trying to break his PR or some shit. Like, fuck.
I-
Instead, he broke a Russian mobster. Or, sorry, a Georgian mobster.
He broke more than his leg. He broke his everything. That man's not moving or breathing anytime soon.
I don't know.
But
Anytime soon.
it's good tension because he's just trying to hang on while the main bad guy is like, oh, you care for this woman? You're gonna watch her die slowly, but you're gonna die first. You're like, oh, cool. And then he's like, Nick, do you trust me? She's like, should I not? Just stabs her through the front. Sorry, I need some water.
It's okay.
Extraction is intense.
Yeah, man. It's a roller coaster ride, I would say. Like, also, him getting shot in the hand, I was like, okay. What's gonna fucking happen?
Yeah, and you're like, if that doesn't, how do you close your hand after that? Or like,
Same, yeah,
have
right?
mobility.
Like, from what I heard is that, like, once somebody stabs you, like that, with a knife, that shit's, like, hard to move.
Repair.
Oh, by the way, going back to when he killed the brother, did you see him, like, split open his hand?
Yeah, you're like, oh, what the fuck?
I was like, how can you do that?
Right? That's cocaine barrel over again. I was like, how do you do that? The fingers weren't even together. But as the kid is taken, it's a nice setup for the next review, right? Is taken. Nick's brother is shot because he's already shot by the big burly woman. He's trying to have a Call of Duty shootout with. You're like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that shit was cool though. Like, he had the gun straight to the dude's face, and you just hear a poof. Dude's just gone.
yeah. And
But you
then,
had to deal with again the big burly.
yeah. And then they have like the crazy Call of Duty shootout where he just luckily that's a headshot. You're like, oh, what luck.
Yeah, but he did get like a couple of like shots into him, which happens a lot in this movie. Like you will see, like Nick will just be shot like 3 times, and you'd be like, "Oh shit! Okay, she's going. She's still going. She's fine."
Yeah. But I guess it just takes more than a pistol to take the brother down because he's shot with a submachine gun. And you're like, oh shit. Is he
Yeah.
gonna get up? No, he's not. He's down for the rest of this movie, unfortunately, for poor Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
I like him though. I like that character. Where is
Yeah.
he from? He looks familiar.
I'm not sure where Nick or he's from, but I think aside from the first movie, I can't really remember. But there's a sad scene when Nick is trying to do, the fist bump with the brother, but he's dead. And you're like, oh, poor Nick.
No.
Yeah, and then Mia comes and she tells Tyler has the moment of like saying, I'm sorry I left our son. I had to go on tour because I was afraid because I couldn't fix this situation that our son was in because the son had cancer and he was too afraid to confront his own son's mortality. And you're like, oh fuck, it's getting pretty heavy.
Yeah. It got pretty heavy within his like cabin house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Daryl.
I don't
How
know
did it
why.
go again?
I don't know why the bad guy shot his uncle.
I don't know either. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things. Like I don't know why the guy stabbed the other guy in the beginning of this movie with like the pitchfork.
Yeah. It's a weird
I-
bad guy. It's not the best. It's just extremely weird.
Like I get it, he's violent, but damn.
Right? But no, he tells Tyler like, oh, I'm in this location. If you want the boy, come here, I guess. And you're like, in your mind, you're like, why are you telling him this? You know what he's capable of.
Right? And that's practically a one-man army.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go there. We get a pretty cool sequence. That dude from John Wick in every John Wick,
And nobody.
and nobody was there too.
Yeah.
Wait, how did he die? I was sworn he had like a really cool death.
He just shot to death. His one of those pop, 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 pop.
Ah, okay. It's sorry.
Yeah. And then I do love seeing Tyler go ham with the grenade launcher. Just like you have no vehicles, you have no plane, you have no means of escape except the church, but that won't shield you from me. No, nobody guy got like good shot on Tyler, so he's like bleeding out, and you're like, is every extraction movie gonna end with Tyler mortally wounded and just waking up from the grave again?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently, like that's how it usually goes. And then they had this like moment where, oh shit, the son actually has like a, what was this?
A bomb.
Yeah, like a bomb strapped to him.
Yeah.
And like the son was like, I don't get this method. So they put this bomb on the kid, and he was like, "Kid, trust me, shoot the guy. I'm your uncle." It's like, but you strapped a bomb on.
Right.
So how does this work?
How does my trust?
Are you all just batshit crazy because you all have like this whole cult thing and you're slightly deaf or something, and you know you're out of your mind? You got scars on your face. I don't know. This guy's just bad guy just to be bad guy. Man has zero depth.
Yeah. But it is a cool last fight when Nick interferes and then Tyler gets to jump on the bad guy. They're using everything that's literally not nailed to the ground to kill each other. And then he gains the advantage by stabbing the guy to death. And the guy's like, I will never. Like,
I won't start. He's like, gosh.
But unfortunately, Nick is shot in a bad area, and you're like, oh shit, is Nick gonna die? You get your answer. Like, nah, they're not gonna kill Nick. They already took her brother. They're gonna stop at that for now.
They might kill her in the next movie. I don't know. By the way, yeah, spoilers. Here's the next movie.
I do like the scene with the closure between Mia and Tyler when she's like, oh, your son didn't think he left you. You left him because he thought you were going off to save the world. and that gives Tyler closure about his son. And then at the end, they meet Idris Elba. It's like, we have another mission. It's like, I'm not doing it without Nick. It's like, she's right here. He's like, oh, all right then.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. His name is Yaz.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, there's another fucking movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We don't know, but like, do you like this more than the first one?
I don't know. Honestly, I think I prefer the bad guy in the first one much more than this one, to be honest.
Hmm.
Because I feel like he had more depth and it's a lot more terrifying.
In my opinion, the first one was better. This one's not bad. It's a good, fun action movie, but the first one, in my opinion, was way better.
Yeah.
Because they had this whole Boba Fett thing going on with this reluctant bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Like, he has a family, but he has to do it because he works for the mob. And hunts Tyler down, so it's kind of like, should Tyler kill him? But I feel bad if he does. But Tyler has to finish the objective. But, yeah so I kind of like that a little bit more than just bad guy.
Yeah.
Her. You know? Like, okay.
But honestly, out of all the original Netflix action movies, I think these two movies are the best among them. Like, I like The Gray Man, but it wasn't the best. And I haven't seen Old Guard yet, so I can't really comment on that.
It's very like comic book movie-esque, but like in a weird way.
Okay. I can't really think of other original Netflix movies.
There's that one with Ryan Reynolds. 6 Underground or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that, like, a Kevin Hart action movie coming up where he's an assassin. And there's the weird one with Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot.
Like
The one where like, they stole the MOA thing. You're like, what?
Yeah, they stole the gold at MOA. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, look, they're fine action movies.
Yeah.
Like Netflix action movies are kind of okay. I would say
here
like
and there.
Overall,
yeah. It's not
6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what would you rate Extraction 2?
Oh yeah, Extraction 2. I didn't like it as much as the first one. The first one was really good, really grounded. Action was, in my opinion, way better because I don't know what it was, but they took Captain America's super serum out of nowhere.
Yeah.
When it came to the characters, so I was like, okay. So I'll probably give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Like, it's alright. I was about to give it a 7, but I'm like, bad guy's kind of weak, story's kind of like weird. You know? I don't know.
I would give this a 7 because I feel like it's a good follow-up. Not the best follow-up, but it's a good follow-up to the first one. Like, if you want to see where Tyler's story goes, this is the way to go. And, like, I hope at least the movie number 3 is the one where we're like, alright, Netflix finally has a good trilogy of movies. And there's not much to say. The action's pretty good from the Russos. You can expect nothing less from them in terms of action. Visuals are good, at least. Characters, I wish had a bit more depth because Tyler just feels like, oh, it's John Wick, but it's Chris Hemsworth. And he's less impervious to damage, apparently.
Yeah. They really tried going with the John Wick route, like, especially with the bad guys. Like, they would wear a helmet.
Yeah. The bulletproof helmet.
The bulletproof helmet, but that doesn't convince us that their entire body is bulletproof. Unlike in John Wick, where they tell us that there's a padding underneath the cloth that makes them bulletproof, and then when the death squad from 3 comes in, we're like, how the fuck do we kill these guys?
Yeah.
With this one, I was like, man, just shoot where the bulletproof vest ain't at. You know?
Exactly.
stop aiming for this.
The general area.
Yeah. So,
but it's a decent movie. Did you hear that Chris Hemsworth is up for being in a wrestling movie? He's Hulk Hogan.
that's... Oh.
Yeah. I love it when
I
actors
feel like they'll.
be controversial figures, you know?
Yeah, that'll be fun. I said that'll be fun. How can he do the voice?
I mean, it's not hard to be like, listen here, brother. I can do the voice. I can
Oh,
talk to them.
he's Australian.
I mean, he's done American characters before, I think.
That's right, true.
He was
Yes.
the American in the weird ass whale movie of Ron Howard. Have you not seen the whale movie where they fight not Moby Dick, but it's the inspiration for Moby Dick? And then Tom Holland becomes Brendan Gleeson by the end because it's the older version of him. He came out at the same time as Creed, so I don't think you'd watch it.
I didn't watch it. It was like Music of Water or something. It sound like that.
But yeah, that's our video for Extraction 2. We'll be talking about other spy movies this week to match the theme. But if you like this video, please, and if you like us, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, you can find me at Kendalphus1995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnG__ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next spy movie, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Chat.